Joining me now to help break down what's making the rounds this morning, NBC's Keir Simmons is here. Hey. Stephanie Gosk is here, along with Jacob Soboroff. Great to see you all. Welcome from across the pond. All right, so last night, President Trump held a swearing-in ceremony for our newest Supreme Court Justice, Brett Kavanaugh. It was a major win for the White House, the president taking the opportunity to praise Kavanaugh and to apologize for the bitter confirmation process. And now the focus will shift to the midterm elections 4 weeks from today. Big debate about who's got more enthusiasm now. We're going to discuss it. But first, NBC's Kristen Welker gets us caught up. Watch.
A primetime victory lap after a bruising confirmation battle. President Trump overseeing the ceremonial swearing in of Brett Kavanaugh, delivering a remarkable apology to the new Supreme Court justice.
On behalf of our nation, I want to apologize to Brett and the entire Kavanaugh family for the terrible pain and suffering you have been forced to endure.
Adding this pointed remark.
Our country, a man or a woman, must always be presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty. And with that, I must state that you, sir, under historic scrutiny, were proven innocent. Thank you.
It's Mr. Trump's second appointment to the High Court in less than 2 years. Kavanaugh sworn in by retiring Justice Anthony Kennedy, for whom he once clerked.
So help me God.
With all of his fellow justices looking on, Kavanaugh delivering his own message to a nation divided over his new role.
The Supreme Court is a team of 9, and I will always be a team player.
And becoming emotional as he thanked his family and friends.
Lift up your friends, love your friends. I love all my friends.
The new justice attempting to strike a unifying tone.
My goal is to be a great justice for all Americans.
A stark contrast to his fiery defense over a week ago in the wake of a sexual assault allegation he denies.
This whole 2-week effort has been a calculated and orchestrated political hit.
Overnight, Democrats lashing out, vowing to mobilize their base ahead of the midterms, now just 1 month away.
We stand together and work together in the next 30 days, calling people out to go to the polls.
But President Trump is aiming to keep the momentum going, traveling to Iowa, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Kentucky this week alone.
So where does that leave us? I have to say, I was not surprised that Kavanaugh got confirmed, and that seemed to be how it was going to go. They needed more than they had to bring him down. But by the same token, President Trump, of course, as usual, overstates the case when he says that Kavanaugh was proven innocent. He wasn't proven anything. He was proven acceptable to a majority of the senators whose duty is to advise and consent on a presidential nomination to the Supreme Court.
That felt like we were in the boardroom of The Apprentice and Donald Trump was in reality show mode and he was saying, "You're innocent."
Right.
It's like, I don't watch a lot of Supreme Court confirmation celebratory speeches, but that felt like a political rally. I mean, is that what they can't always feel like that?
That's all President Trump ever does. I mean, that's the only thing he knows is sort of how to partisanize virtually everything, which, you know, Kavanaugh could have used a little less of, probably. Like, don't help me too much, sir. Please, don't help me too much. Because he doesn't have to say he was proven innocent. He wasn't on trial. I understand in the court of public opinion he sort of was, but it wasn't a trial. Had it been a criminal trial, he would have been found innocent. They did not even come close to having enough proof to get him over that kind of a standard beyond a reasonable doubt.
We also did not have a chance to read any of those FBI interviews. I mean, all of those were locked in. I mean, we all sit out here trying to decide and adjudicate this in the public. And it's very tough if you haven't seen how did Mark Judge answer all the questions he was asked. We don't get a chance to see any of that. I'm not saying we should, but it's tough to actually come up with an opinion when you never got to see any of that.
But here's one of the things that's bothering me now. So the people who voted yes on Kavanaugh, like Susan Collins is getting it from Maine. She's getting it big time. And Susan Collins has every right to believe what she wants to believe. And yet, you know, some who don't like her vote don't seem to feel that way. She came out and said, look, I don't believe that Brett Kavanaugh was her assailant. I believe something happened to her. I don't believe he was her assailant. Well, she just got killed for that. You're not allowed to think it was a case of mistaken identity. If you do, you're a victim shamer. You're a misogynist. Right. It's absurd. You can look at both of those testimonials and say, I don't believe it was him.
But Megyn, Susan Collins wants it both ways. I am not by any means saying that a vote for Kavanaugh was a sexist vote. But this idea that you can vote for Kavanaugh and come up with this explanation that, quite frankly, sounds like it was drummed up by some PR expert in a back room, that I believe them both. They both are telling the truth. They both are right. This woman has specific details in her mind. You either believe she's credible or she's not.
I don't think that's true.
The idea that she would remember all of these things and not remember the face really just defies belief. And basically you have a senator who wants the women just to be happy about her because she still believes her, but yet she's decided stand up and say, I'm voting for Kavanaugh. I don't think that it was proven in any solid way.
That's where she started. That is where she
excuse.
started by saying that. And then she got pressed and she said, all right, I actually
believe them both.
I believe that it wasn't him. Listen, it could have been a case of mistaken identity. I do believe that's possible. And you could look at Dr. Ford and say, she just didn't convince me. There were too many holes in her story. I didn't find her credible. Or you could believe something did happen between them and Christine Ford is remembering more than actually happened in the moment because she was, you could see Rachel Mitchell in cross-examination was trying to prove that Dr. Ford was a little anxiety-ridden and that she was sort of what we call in the law an eggshell plaintiff. So maybe something happened, but it wasn't quite as bad as she remembers, and it was so minimal that Brett Kavanaugh doesn't even remember it. My point is that there can be a way of voting for him without saying, I'm voting for a sexual assaulter.
Yeah,
I was just so disappointed to see, to watch Brett Kavanaugh and have these questions in my mind, to still have all of these questions running through my mind. Let me just share with you, though, before I say any more, a little bit of social media shaming of my own, because I talked more about the politics yesterday. And, Stewie from Family Guy, the annoying English baby.
Uh-oh.
So someone on Twitter tweets, oh, great, now we've got Stewie doing politics. So that's it. I'm done with politics.
I do want to ask you one other question, though. I want to ask you another question because my own feeling is this whole process has been very bad for the Me Too movement. That some people will look at this at the moment as the moment where the Me Too movement jumped the shark because it was weaponized in the political context, not so much even by Dr. Ford, who was the least controversial of the women who came forward, but by women like Julie Swetnick, whose claims fell apart on national television, her lawyer, Michael Avenatti, who never missed an opportunity to tease his alleged gang rape accusation, which fell apart, and other.
This has been the problem from the beginning. The danger for the Me Too movement was, first, let's listen to the women. Let them come forward. Let's listen to them. Became, let's believe them all, or you have to believe them all. That is really dangerous territory because, as I've said here many times, human beings, they lie. Men lie, women lie. We have to factor that into the calculus.
But I will say, I think what has been accomplished here is a massive shift in consciousness, thanks in large part to Dr. Blasey Ford getting up there and sharing her story in front of so many people. The idea that we live in a society dominated by men, that people like me, people like you, will never understand what it's like to be a woman living in the United States of America. I think a lot more people understand that today.
With all due respect to Dr. Ford, I think the women who came out against Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey, his male and other accusers, had a lot to do with it, too. I mean, to pretend that the Me Too movement was started by Dr. Ford.
No, but I said this to you the other day. The idea that on any given day, the phone calls into a rape and sexual assault hotline can spike up, an extraordinary amount just because one woman gets up there and shares their story. I mean, it's just something that we all should be grateful for.
And, it's public life can be messy. It's never going to be necessarily smooth. Controversies are like this often. And, I think for all of us, for our daughters, if this changes things for our daughters, even a little bit, then that is something so worth it, so important.
I mean, I do think offering your testimonial is important, but I will say I don't know that it's something everyone is happy about, that Dr. Ford coming forward in the way that she did. It must be noted that she came forward before Brett Kavanaugh was chosen. That is an important piece of her story. So it undermines accusations of political bias on her point. She heard his name was on the short list and she said, hold on. She tried to stop them from choosing her. She didn't want the White House to choose him. However, I think one of her biggest mistakes was hooking up with those partisan operative lawyers who completely manipulated her to political gain, to serve their own purposes. They were Democratic activists. There's nothing wrong with being a Democratic activist whatsoever, but that's not the ideal choice to represent you in a Supreme Court hearing, which is going to be politicized. She should have gone with independent lawyers who had no axe to grind in the politics world and not played fast and loose with, well, we'll show you these notes or we won't show you those notes. And the FBI has to speak to me. No, it can be a senator. No, it can't. It could have been handled so much better to her benefit. I'll give you the last word.
I don't think Keir wants it.
Then goodbye.
Wait a minute. Okay. I don't want that.